to Blue Jays Today, where obviously today you can see that the boys are poolside in Dunedin, Florida. And if you've been following along on this channel, we've been posting some shorts. We've been posting a vlog earlier today. The boys are here in Dunedin. We flew in on Sunday. We got to experience a lot. We're going to talk about it a lot in this podcast. Kind of a different podcast than what we usually do. We got to experience the player development complex. We got to go in the media press box. We got to go behind the scenes with our media passes given us by the Toronto Blue Jays. Shout out, thank you to everybody who's helped us get those. And then, of course, today, watching Team Canada and the Blue Jays go at each other. And
Kevin Gausman dominated, man.
Kevin Gausman dominated.
I'm a little worried for the Canadian boys after seeing what transpired. I'll tell you what, guys. I was in the so we were in the, I guess, media area, and right next to it is effectively all of the players. Like, they just hang out right there, the ones that aren't directly in the game. And so I was standing by the railing, and I was spending some time talking to Tyler Heineman, and this was very early in the ball game. And I'm like, I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm from Toronto. I'm kind of split here. I don't know which horse I got in this race, and he's like, I get it. But, Team Canada should have this one because they got a lot of their starters in, and, like, this is kind of our B lineup. And then we just absolutely, or the Blue Jays just absolutely torched them, man.
Even the boys that they did have, I'm going to try to bring it up right here. Like, the boys that they did have pitching-wise, I thought were still – look at the guys that they got going right here for the Blue Jays. First of all, you have Gausman for 2 innings. Bistardo, okay, you got a point. Not your A guy or even B guy. But they got Braden Fisher, Mason Fluharty, Estrada, again, I get it. But still, like, you have guys there. Whereas when you look on the Canada side of things, you've got Allen. And then, honestly, after that, like, all I recognize is Mako, because obviously Blue Jays guy. But again, like, that's it. So, honestly, I like the depth of the Blue Jays pitching way better.
I get it. I hear what you're saying, but that is also, like, that's kind of what Team Canada has to offer for the most part.
Hey, no Jameson Taillon.
This is
we
true.
We did not see him.
This is true. There's no Jameson Taillon for sure. But, just an absolute shellacking by the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's start right there. Let's start with Kevin Gausman's performance today. He came out. He looked phenomenal, folks. And then, actually, we were lucky enough. He did a little media scrum, and we were part of it. We were right there, listening to what it was that he had to say, and effectively, like, he's liking where he's at. He's actually loving where he's at right now. He's experimenting with his pitches some more, but, like, just honestly, like, he's trying to get away. It felt like the sentiment of what he was saying today was like he was trying to get away from his overall deep reliance of his splitter.
That makes
where it's
sense.
like, he's in the past been so reliant on the splitter being good, being elite, and when it is not at the pinnacle of excellence,
right?
He's not at the pinnacle of excellence.
Of course.
And it feels like this spring training he's experimenting with trying to get away from that a little bit, and obviously today it worked.
Yeah, I think he was talking about his changeup as well, like using that and mixing that into that. Obviously, spoiler, we couldn't see where exactly he was throwing his pitches because we're all the way out in right field. That's where the media guys were, and that's where the presser was being held with Kevin Gausman. So we can't see out there where he's locating, but from what he was saying is he's trying to mix that in a lot. And I did notice in his first spring training start, he was mixing in the splitter a lot. He had this is last time out, 3 punch-outs in 3 outs, 1 inning of work, and it was done. I believe it was our last live stream we went live for. And what he did, he effectively got a batter out on the changeup. He got a batter out on the slider, and he got a batter out on the fastball. And, like back in the past, do you remember those performances when he would struggle? It was, okay, like I can't locate either 1, my fastball, or 2, my splitter, or my splitter splitting too much, and it's diving out of the zone. And now the batters are geared up for the other pitch, and they're hammering it.
Dude.
So that's the problem, right?
Maybe it's because, in fact, it probably almost assuredly is because I was, just – right, like effectively, talking with Kevin Gausman, it felt like, like we were right there. So obviously I'm higher than I've ever been in my life, which is crazy because I've been pretty high before.
Back in the day, baby.
But like realistically here, what I'm trying to say is I'm thinking Kevin Gausman, maybe we've been sleeping on Kevin Gausman a little bit too much. Like, what if Kevin Gausman, in the final year of his contract with the Toronto Blue Jays, at age 35 years old, What if he just fucking puts up, dude? Like, it feels like he could be the type of guy, especially we've seen some of these veteran pitchers before go a lot deeper than some of the veteran hitters, right? 35 for a starting pitcher doesn't feel that old when you factor in like what some of the other guys around the league is. Like, we just saw Chris Sale put up a Cy Young year. And I'm not saying that Kevin Gausman has had the same, I guess, resume as Chris Sale, but I don't know, man. Like, just listening to him speak today and obviously seeing the results from him, I feel like he could be in for a big year.
I agree with you, especially if he mixes in, again, that changeup. He needs to do that. And then you're talking about like Chris Sale and the thing about Kevin Gausman, and similar to Chris Sale, is like they're really reliant on those out pitches they've got. Sale with the slider, him with the splitter. But they're not big. Like, you wouldn't classify those guys as like velo guys. Whereas like that's what's carried them through their career. They're about like mixing, deceiving, and location, which is what plays better when you're older as a pitcher. Versus when you get older, you lose the velo. Okay, well now my secondary third stuff isn't actually that effective. It never really was. I can really rely on my 100 mile per hour fastball to get me through. I'm with you. I think Kevin Gausman is coming in like healthy. Hopefully he stays that way. Good. And I'm not saying that he's motivated by the contract year, but it is a contract year a little bit, right?
I mean, ultimately, like, even if he's not actively, like, standing in the mirror every morning saying contract year, like, repeating it 4 times before leaving for the ballpark. I mean, he doesn't need to be doing that. Like, subconsciously, you're going to be just a little bit
thinking
extra.
about it.
I mean, it's the fact, like, it's like, hey, I'm up for a payday after all this. I'm up for a payday. Somebody's, like, what am I going to be valued at?
Yeah.
Right? How is the entire MLB going to value me? Like, that's probably a bit of a stress for some of these players. Like, what are they going to think about me monetarily speaking? I want to be considered one of the best in my field. I want to get the big payday. I want to put up.
Yeah, what's funny too? We did talk to Tal Hyman about the incoming lockout that is around the corner. I want to talk about that in a moment because that's another thing. Like, even I was thinking, he's in a contract year, but the lockout, we don't really know.
So
just put up your numbers and do your work.
Yeah, I was like, before you joined the conversation, I was talking with him and then a couple of the other guys there, and the sentiment from them was that, yes, there will be one, but they're actually not that worried that it's going to affect regular season baseball. Like, that's
kind of wild.
That's where they were at, anyways.
That's their perspective.
Yeah, that's their perspective, and I mean, this is just like that's Heineman and then a couple other the AAA guys and like call ups and everything like that. But that's where they were thinking things were at, and I don't know if they know anything that we don't, but at the very least, like, it felt like they were feeling a lot more calm about it than I think we have been feeling about it recently.
Yeah, I mean, well, how could we ever be calm when you got one side that's like, we want a salary cap, something that will never happen in baseball, and what caused the 94 lockout to be locked out for as long as it was, and then other side, basically being like, totally against it. So, man, it's tough. Well, I want to talk about that a little bit too, like, it's kind of cool when we're behind the scenes and like, we can just ask the boys like, what up? Like, what do you think about the upcoming like impending lockout? How is that? Like, how'd that come? Because I just joined last second.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of cool, eh?
So effectively, like I was just chatting with Heineman about I don't forget exactly how I think one of the other guys brought it up, and then I threw out to them. I'm like, yo, did you guys hear about the big treasure chest?
Right, that's when I walked in. Yeah,
and we were kind of chatting about that a little bit, and then they were saying, like, we heard, that's crazy, but we got one too.
Didn't he say it was like $5 billion?
So he
I think he was just tossing out numbers.
So initially he said $3 billion. He said $3 billion for the players. But then he was like, "Oh wait, no, actually, it's $500 million."
Oh,
now
$500 million.
That's
a widely different.
Very big difference. Like $3 billion to $500 million, very, very big difference.
600x right there, like.
So again, I don't know. I'm getting the impression he also doesn't know exactly how much is stored away. But point being is, players got money, owners got money, but at least those players are thinking that this is going to be. Kind of shitty and maybe ruin some of spring training, but not actually take away real baseball.
I know. Now that we've got a taste of spring training, I was saying to Nick, I was like, man, we gotta come back here next year, and then we followed up with a pause.
Yeah,
because we don't know if we are going to be back here next year.
Would love to come back here next year. Phenomenal experience. got to figure out if we're playing first.
That out.
That is kind of important, folks.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. We got a couple donos in here. By the way, thank you to everyone who's tuning in right now. We got 124 legends in here right now. Obviously, this isn't our usual stream. We usually stream on Fridays, but this is not a usual schedule for us or even location to begin with. So we appreciate you guys kind of just going with the flow with us this week. We got a dono in here from Jordan Keats, $2 dono saying, one step closer to an MLB media pass. Let's go, boys. Hey, we don't want to give away too much, but the boys are slowly putting in the work. And shout out to the Nation Network as well, helping us get there and even come out here in the first place. But we're slowly getting there, and it is, from my experience, at least I'll talk from my end, it is just such a surreal moment where, yes, we cover the team so much, and I spend all my days talking about the team and looking at the images of the facilities and blah, blah, blah. But to be there, it's like, it just opened my eyes, and I don't think I've really fully digest what we kind of experienced in the last 48 hours yet.
Yeah, it is really, really cool, man. Dude, the player development complex is something special.
Yeah.
Insane amount of Blue Jays logos there. If you guys haven't seen the social media clip that I put out today, it's on our Instagram, it's on our TikTok. If you don't already, go follow us on our Instagram and our TikTok because you get some exclusive content there. We were going through and we were trying to spot every Blue Jays logo in 5 minutes. It's endless. Like I would now, if you had to guess, how many Blue Jays logos are there? Like are just there?
Yeah, because you got 28. And I know the map at this point in that one. It's almost like a half circle we did.
And we didn't go inside.
We didn't go inside.
There was also other areas that we could have gone down a way that we didn't go down.
It's got to be 300 to 400.
Yeah, I think I was around there as well. Yeah, like hundreds of Blue Jays logos.
It's obviously we didn't count like jerseys and whatnot, but just everywhere. But like they had logos on the keep off the grass signs. You'd think like, okay, we understand this is the Blue Jays facility at this point, but like we had to be reminded one more time that this is it with the keep off.
Brother,
the grass.
they have their asset file or their folder. Their folder of assets, and it's actually just got one thing in it. And
it's just the logo.
It's just the logo on repeat,
and
man.
everything.
Yeah. But it was everywhere, and it was really cool, man. Like that place is the zoo, is the Canada's wonderland of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an amazing experience for us to get to go down there and make sense why we are all of a sudden really damn good at baseball. Because it's hard not to be like better.
Yeah.
After going and doing that. They got the traject machine. They got, just this crazy, crazy gym. Just insane gym.
It was like this outdoor gym that like leaked out into the pathway like by some of the diamonds. And it was like, an indoor-outdoor gym, like this garage door-esque thing, and just weights everywhere, different machines. We actually, it clicked to me first because, again, we interviewed Addison Barger in that area, and I was like, even then I was thinking like, where is this place? This looks super cool. And this was when Barger was before spring training, like 3 years ago, and we interviewed him, and he was like, I'm just, he finished the workout, he's just like chilling there. I was like, wow, this place looks so sick. I understand now why Barger's so jacked, because I would have zero excuse if I could show up every day, work out at this gym, go hit BP, and be as good as I can be. And that it makes sense. So good job on Mark Shapiro.
Yes.
He's doing that.
Yeah, man. I mean, the whole facilities are phenomenal. And the TD ballpark, just the same, like across the board. Really cool stuff. So, experience has been incredible so far. We can't wait for you guys to see more of the vlogs, more of everything. But appreciate all of you. Shout out to Danielle Castro for being a member for 31 months, by the way.
Let's go.
That's crazy. Let's talk a little bit about Max Scherzer and the message that he released today in regards to his daughter and the message that came out. That was a crazy, amazing message that came out. It was like a week ago now, maybe a bit less than a week ago. And it was right after he signed, his wife, Erica, released this letter, and it was from their daughter, Brooke, I think her name is.
Yeah.
And it was effectively saying, it's like, oh, I wish you would have won the World Series. I wish you would have done this. I can't wait till we come back, everything like that. Well, Max Scherzer came out and spoke about this today. I can't read it, Adam, because it's too far away. You're going to have to go for it.
I'll read it in just a moment. Also, another shout out to Ann Beacock. We missed that one as well. Thank you for donating a Blue Jays Today membership to Screams. You guys are amazing. Yeah, so this one right here, this is an article. The sun's kind of blocking it. Oh, no. On this place called Northeast Now. And in this article, I kind of highlight it right here saying, Scherzer said his kids were writing letters expressing what they wanted from Santa.
Yeah.
And that's where the letter came from. So they're writing letters to Santa. And I'm going to keep going here. When Brooke approached him and his wife, Erica, the 8-year-old asked for a stamp and then put it on a sealed envelope, and then she handed it to her parents. So she said, here you go. This is what I want for Christmas.
That's crazy.
And this is no shout to Brooke. Like, this is her caring about her family. I wouldn't be thinking about that. You know, if I was an 8-year-old, I'd be like, give me my Xbox. You know what I mean? But that just goes to show, too, how – first of all, how much she's connected with her dad and her family. Like, obviously, you're a big leaguer. Your whole life has been kind of traveling and being with your dad and your mom and going on this journey. And he's been bouncing around the last few years. So as you're, I guess, getting older, you're starting to retain this memory of like, oh, I'm bouncing around from place to place. That's what I'm trying to think from an 8-year-old perspective. And then you find a place like Toronto, and it means so much to you as a kid that you're asking Santa to stay. And effectively, like, in Toronto. That's just a cool story.
Dude, I'm really upset at myself. So yesterday when we were at the PDC, John Schneider had a media scrum, and I was recording the whole thing, and then it was like, okay, we're wrapping up. It's over. So I stop recording, and then out of the blue, somebody asks a last-second question. And I wasn't recording at this point.
Right.
I'd already had my phone kind of put away in my pocket. And it was I think it was like, how does it feel having Max Scherzer back in the building? Like, how does that feel? And
Right.
John Schneider went on a bit of a tangent, and he was talking about how, yeah, even for him, having somebody like that in this clubhouse, just being on the team, his energy goes up a tick. Right, like he woke up, he didn't need to have a cup of coffee that morning because he knew that Mad Max was going to be in there. And this is his word, like this is what he was saying.
Right.
Like he was amped up, and that was something that was happening around the team. This is the element, the effect that Max Scherzer has.
Right.
Not even like he's not even on the field, man.
You know what's
he
funny?
might not be on the field for a fucking month or more than that even. And it's just like people are amped up. The coach is amped up that this guy's in the building.
Yeah, well, actually, today we found out that he said he's like good to go. Like, and that's such.
Well,
Max
of course
Scherzer.
he said that. Yeah.
What was he? I have it on our Instagram. I want to go off what you just said right there. But like the exact thing from John Schneider today. This is via Keegan Matheson saying Max Scherzer says he'll be ready for the start of the season, and it's completely past his thumb issue, saying, quote, I feel good, I feel healthy, I just want to pitch. But again, to go off what you were saying right there, like if Max Scherzer's on this team, and if I'm a baseball player or even just a love and fan of the game, I don't want to waste somebody's time that doesn't have a lot of time playing the game left. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to give it my all. I don't want to half-ass this season or my workouts or anything. If you're here at like 41, 42, and you're here grind, you don't need to be here, dude. You can go retire. You made all the money. You're not even making barely any money compared to some of these other guys.
Yeah, it's not about the money, man. It's not about
the money. Like, you're just here to win, and I don't want to waste your time. I want this to be, if this is going to be your last season, I'm going to be part of the reason why this should be a success for you by grinding my ass off. Same with John Schneider, like you're saying, getting up and going. Like, I don't want to waste his time either.
I'll tell you what, man. If I was one of the younger guys, too, on that team, the last thing that I want would be to get reamed out by Max Scherzer. On the flip side of the coin, right? It's like, obviously, I'm motivated because he's motivated. But on the flip side of the coin, like, can you imagine if you're putting in a little bit less work, right? You're taking it a bit easy. And Max Scherzer just fucking leans into you. Like, I'm done. I'm leaving the sport.
This guy
after
knows
that.
ball.
Yeah,
like, he literally knows ball. And you know another thing too. You almost got to look at him as well as a coach, but not coach, because when we actually saw an update where Max Scherzer spent a lot of time in John Schneider's office last year. Like, it was almost every day.
Right.
Even when he wasn't playing. Of course, he's a pitcher. He doesn't play every day. But, like, he was in John Schneider's every single day. So, yeah, if coach is around, I better step up, especially with a caliber like Max Scherzer.
Yeah, man, I think about it a little bit too. I mean, it is to a lesser extent, actually, because, again, he only does pitch once every potentially 5 days, maybe not even that, because he's Max Scherzer. And, you know, he's not at the caliber that this guy was at when he finished. But, to a lesser extent, it's kind of like that Tom Brady effect. Like, everybody said that, like Tom Brady, especially when he went over to the Buccaneers, even though he was well on the back nine, and, like, he wasn't playing his – actually, he did put up some incredible years. So, point being, he's Tom Brady's a GOAT. But, it changed everyone around him because they knew how intense that guy was.
Yeah.
And, like on one side of the coin, it's, well, I have to be putting in effort because that guy's putting in effort. And on the other side of the coin, I cannot for the life of me get reamed out by Tom Brady.
No.
And same thing over here. Like, I cannot for the life of me get reamed out by Max Scherzer because, like, that would be a core memory that I just do not want to have.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just the impact that he has, the trickle-down effect that he has on this team. It is so important. It is massive. I am so amped up that he is back on this squad. And then to hear on top of all of this, the cherry on top being that his family and his kids and his wife and everybody just fucking love the city of Toronto and love the Toronto Blue Jays. Retire the jersey already.
Are we convincing ourselves that Max Scherzer could be the reason for the Blue Jays' success? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you know what? This is actually a perfect transition to something that I wanted to talk about, okay?
Yeah.
So today, we were doing what we call them streeters. They weren't really streeters.
Today was like a fielder.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know what I'm saying. We were on the field today.
We were on the field, and we were interviewing people. So we got to interview Jamie Campbell. We spoke with Keegan Matheson. We spoke with a bunch of other people who are in the space and doing this right now. And one of the questions that we asked them was, do you think this team has gotten better from where they were at the end of last season? And the answer, a lot of the time, and what I'm learning about this team, what I'm learning about this Toronto Blue Jays team right now is that they did not get better from last year. They got different. They definitely didn't get worse. They definitely didn't get worse.
Yeah.
They just got different. They took that bat of Bo Bichette and they transformed it into some really tantalizing, exciting starting pitchers in Dylan Cease and in Cody Ponce. And okay, maybe George Springer, actually probably George Springer, is not going to have a 940 OPS next year.
Keegan said it to me, he's like, regression equals George Springer hitting 850, which I think he could do. Which is technically regression.
Which is still really good. But even, so here's the thing. If he does that, that's still getting worse technically.
Yeah.
But the team is still going to be fucking awesome. Like, this is a really good ball team. And what Jamie Campbell said to me today, he was saying this team is similar, in his opinion, to last year, but that's okay because that product was incredible. Our camera guy, by the way, just going for a swim in the background. Yeah, what's up, Colin? How's the water, brother?
Bro, I don't know if you guys can see him. I told Colin as we were setting up today, it's part of the vlog. I was like, dude, just randomly just get in the fucking pool. Because he was all trip. I was telling him I wanted this setup with the pool in the back. He's like, I'm going to hop in the pool.
Yeah, as you should, man. As you should.
Man. We're here.
But just to finish what I was saying there, man. So Jamie Campbell says to me, in his opinion, this team didn't necessarily get better, but it stayed at the same level. And that's okay because that level was awesome. I'm so sick and tired of seeing these Twitter trolls and these people in our comments and these people in our mentions saying that, oh, they didn't get better, so that means that they're bad.
Right.
Guys, they were really good last year. Yeah. They got different, stayed at the same level, and that's okay.
Yeah, like there isn't, when you look at this team, like where can you realistically improve? Like you could argue, oh, we should have got a Kyle Tucker bat instead of like Okamoto. Okay, sure, that might be a little bit. Oh, that would be a lot better because we don't know what Kazuma Okamoto is. But the point is, like the team, if you look at the whole WAR overall, they technically gained WAR, and you're looking at a squad right now where if that's like equal, like we're talking about, we give a little bit away in terms of the offense, let's say hypothetically in terms of WAR, and we gain a lot in the pitching, and it's kind of net even a little bit positive. However way you chop it up, last year's team was a World Series team.
Correct.
So, okay, if we go out there and we roll the dice again with this squad, which is arguably net neutral, that's kind of another term we were using today when we were asked that question, is net neutral, then you're giving yourself a great chance to go back to the World Series. If last year's team was one of the best in the AL, arguably the best, because, well, it is the best because they technically won, but just on the paper, the best, then yes, like, let's roll it back again. I don't care. Look, you could be 10th in runs scored, but number 1 in the ERA. If it gets you back to the World Series, you got a chance to win. I don't care how you get there.
Well, I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
Get there, man. As long as we go. And honestly, I think that we're being relatively conservative right now. Like the net neutral for me is.
That's like a conservative,
relatively conservative way of looking at things, right? I mean, I think that there is also the very real possibility that this team got better. And that is absolutely well within the range of outcomes. I see people in the chat saying, what do you mean? We got better. I hear you. And I think I can absolutely get behind that as well. When I say and when other people say this is a net neutral here, that's not a bad thing, and that's still a relatively conservative way of looking at things.
Yeah.
So,
oh no, we're net neutral. If we roll it again, we go back to the World Series.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. So ultimately, point being to have that entire tangent. I think we started there where you were like, oh, like his Max Scherzer are going to be the reason as to why we were good.
Right.
One of them. Right, to answer that, one of them,
Correct.
but there's also a lot of good reasons on this team as to why we are going to be good, and some of them are different from last year, but that's still okay.
Yeah, and honestly, like the overall feelings of this team, especially since being here in spring training, again, we haven't been with the team last year in spring training, so I have nothing to compare it to, but this year, it just seems like everyone knows who they are, and they have a confidence in who they are. Like, it's not just like, oh, we got to come up here and show up and like, I got to prove to myself and prove to the world like this is the type of player I am. They're just doing it. They're just doing it. And that's awesome to see. And we talked to Ben Schulman about this in the podcast yesterday. That's the overall sense. They're confident going into this year. Once you touch the World Series, and and we talked about this with Ben too, you know that on paper, and we've talked about this, you did everything you possibly could to win a World Series. Now, so you might look at that as a negative, where it's like you did everything you could and you didn't win. But on paper, the numbers showed that like more times you would win this. With that being said, yeah, you lost, but get back to work because you were there, and there's no limit to how good you could possibly be as a collective unit. So just get back to work and get back to the grind and play 162 and see where you go.
Yeah. I mean, in conclusion, Blue Jays good. You guys already knew that, though, man.
Honestly, so many times now, like especially in spring training, it's like versus last year. Last year, there was a lot of controversy. This year, it's like, let's keep going. It really hasn't felt like there's anything negative to talk about at all, which is great. I think
it's the negatives have changed, right? Last year, the negative was are we gonna be like, are we just done? Like, are we done?
Is this
entire window closed, right? Because is Vladdy going to walk, or is he going to get traded, and is that going to mean that this entire window's closed? Like, that was the negative. This year, the negative is we don't have enough lefties in the pen.
Yeah, literally.
It's
dude,
like,
that would have been the last problem.
Yeah, right?
Like,
dude, we didn't even have, like, the thing is, we didn't have the luxury to even talk about that last year.
No.
Like, I felt like that problem kind of snuck up on us last year.
Yeah, like I saw it, but we
weren't
had bigger
even,
fish to fry.
Exactly, right? We were talking about other shit because there was just other more pressing stuff. It just goes to show how different things are now because there is a lot of things that I can't really complain about. Like, okay, like, yeah, could the lineup be better? Of course. Like, basically, like, even the Dodgers lineup could theoretically be better.
Yeah.
But comparing them to the rest of the American League and their rivals in the AL East, it's pretty good. It's competitive enough.
Yeah.
Could the rotation be better? Sure, but it's pretty good. It's competitive enough. So, yeah, it went from, oh, gosh, is Vladdy gone and is our window over to how many innings is Eric Lauer going to pitch? And that's a good spot, man.
Yeah, the fact that Eric Lauer, our 8th depth option, is a focal talking point because it's a point of concern, that's insane balls.
No, we talked way too much about Eric Lauer.
I know, and I almost feel bad because I looked at our Instagram the other day. It just so happened he walked through our podcast. So I was like, oh, Eric Lauer, sick. Yeah. But literally, we had like back-to-back clips on our socials talking about Eric Lauer.
We are the biggest Eric Lauer stans that have ever existed, man.
And we saw him today too, and I have this urge in me to be like, dude, I talk about you all the time.
All the time.
But like, that'd be weird, right?
Would it?
I don't know. Maybe he likes that. Maybe he'd be like, hell yeah, pump me up more.
Well,
actually, one thing
how many people are talking about Eric Lauer as much as we are?
Nobody.
In fact, I would argue that there's not a single person on planet Earth that has talked more about Eric Lauer in the last 3 weeks than we have.
Bro, if anyone who's connected with Eric Lauer's agent or family or what have you, they can get in contact with Eric Lauer. We want him to come on to our show, gas the shit out of him, and it's his contract year too.
Yeah, man.
Let's get him gassed up because he's the best eighth starting pitcher in baseball.
If other teams even had 8 starting pitchers, that's the thing. They're non-existent, man. So yeah, Eric Lauer is the GOAT. Justice for Eric Lauer. Awesome human being. Having a rough spring though. Having a rough spring. We're not worrying about that, though.
We don't care.
Yeah, exactly, because that's not confirming our bias. And Ben Schulman told us, he said that if you haven't already, go watch that Ben Schulman podcast. I think that was a really good, overall overview of things right now. He's such a good speaker, man, and the vibes were pretty immaculate right there, I felt. But, he's not worried at all about what's happening or not happening in spring training. Yeah. It is what it is, right? And he brought out a great example, too. Throwback to last year when Springer had 3 or 4 hits over the whole spring training. And everyone, us included, everyone in Blue Jays media was thinking, oh, my God, get him as far away from Toronto as physically possible. And then he ends up being the best hitter on the team. So
it's the reality of baseball. And the more I listen and watch and do these podcasts and talk about baseball, the more I realize, you literally don't know what's going to happen until it fucking happens. Literally, last year, I would have bet you so much money it was over for George Springer. It wasn't.
I think that's sports. That's just sports in general, dude. That no one, we have all these. Here's the thing, right? The simulations and all of that shit, they work. Yeah. But you do a simulation, okay, and you do all the math, and you have your simulation, and it tells you that 7,000 out of 10,000 times George Springer is going to be dog shit. Right. Well, what about those 3,000 other times?
And the 3,000 other times, you get David Popkins, you get a good plan, an approach by George, a good off season, a healthy year. You know what I mean? And honestly, probably even less than 3,000. That's probably 500.
Sure.
You know what I mean? What point being is things fell in the right place for him because he did the right things to get him into a good place.
Right? And the point is, it's everybody has these projections and simulations. So, of course, there's bound to be a couple that aren't what you expect, but are the other, because everyone is having this right now. So we have these computer algorithms that tell us that Max Scherzer doesn't have it anymore. Well, okay, probably most of the time. Most of the times you simulate this season, he probably doesn't. Yeah. But there are a handful where he does. And there's a handful where he's really healthy, and maybe you get that this year.
Let's talk about that. Remind me to talk about Max Scherzer in a moment as I give some shout-outs here, too. And Beacock saying, we need a closer. Sorry, Hoffman. That's another talking point. Again, I was thinking about last year comparisons, too. That was another problem we weren't even thinking about. Jeff Hoffman's great. We're locked in at closer.
Well, we were, but exactly, it felt like we were, right? But then on the other side of the simulation, it's exactly that one didn't go according to plan.
Exactly, and then you got this is a long name, Dimitrio Caesarfiolopoulos, 799. Oh my gosh, don't know how to say that. Just became a starter member. Shout out and thank you, my friend.
Chat to you, man. Thank you everybody for liking, subscribing. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, guys. It's free to do so. I mean, we appreciate all the donations, but just joining the community really helps us out quite a bit. And take a look at the vlogs that we're posting. We posted one this morning. We'll post one again tomorrow morning. That Ben Schulman podcast, like I brought up, still also on the YouTube, only 20 minutes long, and I think it's a really good listen. And of course, a lot more videos on the way on here and on our Instagram and our TikTok and everything like that. So
yeah, it's crazy. Literally, to go off of hitting the subscribe button, watching the videos, and clicking the like button led us to sent us here.
Pretty cool.
There's a lot of work as well that goes behind the scenes, but
boiling it down.
Boiling it down, it's if you don't do that, we don't come here.
Pretty much.
And so we're so grateful and thankful for you guys, sending in your donos and commenting on the live feed right now. So it's completely awesome, man. But One more Max Scherzer thing, because now that he said that, he could be ready for opening day. What if he is healthy for opening day? And we're looking right now at the current healthy guys in the rotation. Dylan Cease, Kevin Gausman, Jose Barrios, a sometimes Trey Savage, depends. We saw him the other day. Looks disgusting, by the way. Saw his bullpen. Talk about that in a little bit. And then Cody Ponce. What do you do with Mr. Scherzer?
Okay, let's go through the other guys first, man. Kevin Gausman, obviously in the rotation, likely going to be game 1 starter. We know that. That's locked in 100%.
Yep.
Dylan Cease, obviously going to be in the rotation. They paid him way too much money to do anything otherwise.
Yep.
Likely be the game 2 starter. So those two, we can set them away.
Yep.
We can set them. We can forget it. It is what it is. Now, I want to talk a bit about Trey Savage because also John Schneider spoke a little bit about him.
Right.
And even though Savage has options and likely is the easiest one to kind of put on the back burner for a second, it just felt to me like the intonation in Schneider's voice, like he's hyped up at the stuff that Savage, and understandably so.
Saw the stuff.
Right? It's it looks. I mean, I have no idea how anybody ever hits MLB pitching. Seeing it like that up close like that, I'm jumping away, man. Like I'm just not even stepping into that box.
Dude,
but
honestly, I was gonna say the opposite. I want to actually step in the box and see it. I just want to see how fucked up my eyes would be trying to track.
Yeah, you can't. I know we can't.
I was behind the catcher, behind a gate. We were watching the bullpens of the PDC, and I saw even the fastball. I'm just like, I can't track that. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
You're swinging and you're hopeful that your bat happens to be at the same place at the same time.
And that makes sense why he makes major leaguers look dumb. Imagine what he'd make me look. But anyways,
Point
he
being,
loves him, and he looks like he's a
I
big
think
part.
I think that he's gonna want Savage in this thing.
Yes.
On day 1, and I know that he could easily be sent down. I just don't know if they're going to do it. So those 3 I'm thinking are gonna be in this thing.
Jose's feeling good.
Jose's feeling good. And John Schneider said that he likes what he's seeing recently. I don't see a reality where Jose's not in it either, man.
He's in the rotation.
It's like
100%.
I'm thinking it really would boil down to, okay, well, is Cody Ponce going to start a game for us, or is he going to be a bullpen guy for us?
That's the thing.
Because you genuinely actually can't send Max Scherzer down due to his contract.
Correct. Or you could do this, too, and I brought this up about Eric Lauer, and I'm sorry, Eric Lauer, but this means that you get shafted yet again in the depth chart, but you treat Cody Ponce like you would as a 6-man when Trey needs a skip day. You know what I'm saying?
So Eric Lauer just truly is a 1-inning lefty.
Yeah, 1-2 inning, get me through. We're up 5, down 5, which is terrible. This guy had a low 3 ERA last year.
Correct. Yeah, I think it was like 3.12 or something.
In the pen, it was like 175.
177.
177. Like, that's unbelievable that he's the last option.
Yeah.
Which is a great problem. Yeah. But bad problem for him trying to get paid, but great problem for the Blue Jays.
He might also start games too, though. This is the issue. Like, and again,
no, look at us.
Yeah, and everyone, the classic is, that's a good problem to have, and it is a good problem to have. So.
We have so many good problems.
Yes. I mean, you can't, like, Max Scherzer, if he's actually genuinely ready to go, then I think you have to utilize him because you just brought him in to utilize him. So
Correct.
You're going to find a way to do that, and it feels to me like the easiest one to be versatile with would be somebody like a Cody Ponce because you could still mold him, whereas effectively all of the other guys, if you keep Trey Savage up here and let him run, you can't really mold them. They are what they are. So if you send Trey Savage down to do some work down there, that's a completely different story, but just didn't sound to me like that's something John Schneider would be willing to do.
I've said different things, but if Max Scherzer is determined to go and start right away, and he's looking good, and the results are good. You have to actually play him because you signed him. I say you go until as long as he can go. But what if he does what he did last year and the ERA number is like, low 5?
You cut him.
Yeah, like
of course.
Max Scherzer.
You cut him, right? You're not paying him. You think about the contract. The contract allows you the flexibility to cut him because the contract pays out based on how much he plays.
Can you imagine being John, hypothetically, if he were to be performing bad in like June? You know, you got Bieber like, yo, I need to play. I'm back. I'm good. Well, maybe not in June, be earlier than that. But anyways, Max is performing bad, and you're John Schneider, and you are inviting Max Scherzer into your office, and you have to cut him. Imagine
yeah.
I'd be shitting my pants. I'd be shitting my pants.
I get it, but and I don't think that Max Scherzer is the only one that could be a casualty of war. Like, if you're not locked in here for multiple years.
I agree. I'm just saying that's tough.
Of course.
Especially again, the way we talk about him, it's like he brings so much more than his stuff. But yeah, like in a World Series year, if you're not performing, either let's get a Phantom IL cooking or you got to go. I wonder how much Phantom IL's really playing, because like I could just be like, let's get the doctor to say that your thumb's hurting again, and we'll toss you on there.
I'm sure that they are more prevalent than we realize.
Because why wouldn't they just do that all the time? I don't know.
They might, dude.
They might. Like why cut anybody if that was the case? You know.
Well, because
maybe you just genuinely don't.
Well, and also too, right? Like it's you cut, like the guy would have to agree to that as well.
Right.
You know, like the player would have to agree to that, because
that's true.
You know, like if you're like a player that actively thinks that they can play for someone else,
right? You're
just gonna come out, you're gonna tell the media, I'm not hurt, I can play right now, and then the team's screwed.
That's true. Yeah.
So
and then whereas Max Scherzer, it's like, you know. This could be the last year. So
it all depends.
You know.
It all completely depends. But yeah, there could be some tough cuts, right? Eric Lauer could get cut. Hell, I brought this up on the other day on a podcast. I don't think this is going to happen, because I think he's going to put up and perform. But in the last year of a contract year for Kevin Gausman, if he is playing like asshole and there's other guys that are playing really good, you could get the shaft too. Because at the end of the day, it's like we need roster spots for people that are going to dominate. Like,
yeah, I think it's going to be pretty ruthless. And again, that should be also more motivation for these guys to like want to produce and do well, because it is tight. I mean, we've talked about before, you got people knocking on the door right now for a bench spot. Like, I'm looking at a guy right now like Davis Schneider, who's got options, and we love Davis Schneider. He's been on the show, great guy, but he's got options, and you have dudes knocking on the door that don't have options, and you need to make a decision. You know, you got to be flexible. So it's whoever's performing well, you're playing. This is a different team than last year at this time, because of the expectations are way higher, where last year was, hey, let's run it back, let's see what we can do. Now we have too many good players. We have to be cutthroat. That's what's got to be.
And that's what they said, right? It's a meritocracy. These are big boys. They know that it's all based on their play. Max knows that, and he knows that based on the deal that he just signed.
Yeah.
Like, this is literally based on your play.
And we can't be playing up to your aura. You got to be playing up to our aura. What I mean by that is, like, you know, we're not going to protect you because your name's Max Scherzer. We want to protect the Blue Jays because we're the Blue Jays and we're World Series caliber.
Look, it's a good partnership for that reason. We've been talking up all the beautiful things that we think he brings to this team with the attitude and the veteran presence. Jay's also bringing a lot to the table here too, okay?
Correct. They got big expectations this year.
We're giving you an opportunity in you know, likely your final year as an MLB player to come play on a really good team and maybe win a ring.
Yeah.
And there, you know, how many other World Series caliber teams are giving you that opportunity? I mean, did the LA Dodgers call you? I don't think they did.
No.
I don't think they gave you a call. So, yeah, that's
Maybe
where I'm
not.
at with Scherzer and everything. Now, I do see Ann Beacock in here saying, what do you guys think about a six-man rotation? What would that look like? Ultimately,
to start the season?
She doesn't really specify
Would you boys
that,
be in favor of six-man rotation? Too much between starts. Yeah. I mean, look, let's play it over a little bit. Every 6 times through the rotation, you're going to lose the start, right? If you're a starter. I think that's how the math works out, right? Every 6 times through, you lose 1 start because 6-man rotation. Someone do the math for me.
I don't really follow what it is that you're saying, to be
Basically,
honest.
like, if every time you go 6 times through the rotation, in a 5-man rotation, everyone would have got an extra start, right? Because in the amount of games that you're playing. Someone correct me in the chat with the math. But effectively, if you play that over, like a full 162, assuming everyone's healthy, which will never be, there will be injuries. That's just inevitable. But you're losing starts to guys that you really want to start. Like, if Kevin Gausman has it this year and it looks like he's so far in camp looking good, you want him to get those extra starts. Unfortunately, you don't want Jose Berrios to get those extra starts as well. You want to give them all to, Mr. Kevin Gausman. So that's the thing with the 6-man rotation. A, you're losing starts out of guys you want to really start, and B, you're throwing off a lot of timing with these guys. They're built into their blood to start every 5th game, and they have or training regimens to like get them up to that readiness for a game, like in between both sessions, in between starts. So like to kind of like mess with that, you'll see it on a lot of these guys' pages. The splits are atrocious when they get off that schedule. If you go into camp and you're prepping for a 6-man rotation, then maybe you can counteract that. But so far we're seeing that's not happening. So that makes me believe it's not going to happen.
I wouldn't hate it. Because it's one of those things where like a lot of the concerns that you have, we'll only ever know if they're actually concerns if we do it, right? Because if we are doing the 6-man rotation and actually like it's not really dealing, like it's not hurting a whole lot of people, and theoretically they should be more healthy, then that's a good thing. And then also too, I guess the one thing about a 6-man rotation that's kind of nice is like you don't have to be committed to it forever. If you do it for like, let's say you did it 3 times. Okay, so everybody starts 3 times. And after those 3 starts, you look at it and you're like, okay, Gausman was awesome. Cease was really good. Cody Ponce is kind of shit in the bed. Okay, so let's go to a 5-man now. And and then we'll make that choice early, and then we'll cut that out, right? But
what if it's Gausman that's sucking after 3 starts? You wouldn't cut him out, right?
No, you likely wouldn't. It's like, and again, for every individual, it's obviously going to be different. Yeah, I mean the same argument applies to the 5-man, right? If Gausman's not doing well out of the gate in the 5-man, you still don't knock him down in the bullpen.
That's saying Gausman, you have to keep pitching. Like, you got to keep pitching. Same with Cease, but it's one of those things. It's just I don't know. It's so you're right. Like there's so many different ways that it could play out, and at the end of the day, you just need guys to play well. I think honestly, all of this isn't going to be an issue. I know we have a lot of guys that are available to start. I just think it's not going to be an issue. Things are going to come up. People are going to get hurt. Like that's just inevitable. And in the end of the day, it's going to resolve itself. And if it doesn't, let's say for whatever reason, we got 7 or 8 healthy dudes ready to start, you roll with your best 5 that you believe in. The other guys, find a space in that bullpen or Phantom IL. That's the way it's got to work. And then when your opportunity comes, get ready. I mean, hey, all these great baseball teams that go on and win World Series have legit starters in their pen, and when their opportunity comes, they're ready to go, right? Like, why can't we operate like that? We do kind of with Eric Lauer.
Yeah, I guess so, man. It's crazy fishing here saying if people still have doubts about the pen, the best time to get pen guys is the deadline. Also, how's the Airbnb? Agree with you about the pen situation. I'm sure, like every year, the Jays will be in on pen guys come trade deadline. Like that's just what happens. The Airbnb is really, really cool, folks. As you can see, the pool in the background, there's a little putting green over there, and you can actually see the entirety of the Airbnb tomorrow in the vlog. We post a vlog now effectively every morning that we're here, a little 4 or 5 minute thing. We're going to show you the Airbnb and just kind of walk through the whole thing. So
yeah, it should be good. Yeah, we'll have one coming out tomorrow, and then Wednesday night we're going to be doing a thing at Baseball Town. For those who are OGs, you know what that is. Shout out to Scott Belford from the High and Inside podcast, who's going to be hosting it. It's basically this event at this brewery, and you're going to have a panel of analysts. Like, you got Keegan Masson, you got Ben Nicholson-Smith on the panel as well. We're going to be on the panel as well. But I think to get it at the end, there's going to be the players speaking as well, like David Schneider,
Riley Tirada, and then there was one other guy, and I cannot remember who it is.
Name, but he's pitched. Is it the other Rogers? Not obviously Tyler. It's not him.
I'd have to get the
flyer. But it's going to be a great event. So we're going to be attempting to live stream it. Obviously, we've never been to the bar to test the stream, so we're going to try to get the early stream it. So if you guys want to mark it in your calendars, 7 o'clock, if you see a stream kind of up and waiting around 6:30 with whatever title about the Baseball Town, get ready to watch that because it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like you're gonna see a lot of cool things.
No, I think the vibes are gonna be immaculate. The lads are gonna be getting into the cups, as are I think many of the other panelists. So should be a good one. Let's do a quick shout out here to the sponsor of this podcast, this video, this everything, Sports Interaction. Everybody.
Yeah, Sports Interaction, Sportsbook, and Casino. They got you covered with live play-by-play betting, guys. During the regular season, every game is your game, and you bet with Sports Interaction, Canada's homegrown sportsbook. So, unfortunately, usually we have a segment where I'll show you the latest the latest bets that we like to follow. We're in America. Sports Interaction, there's a lot of gambling laws where you can't, when you're outside of Ontario specifically, you can't look at that. But I was trying to look for the World Baseball Classic odds and see where we're at. I saw they came out with a power ranking, and we were 8th, Canada, which is good. That would mean that you would be one of the teams making it out of the round robin, hypothetically. Even though they got smoked today, they did almost make a comeback. I believe my mom said they tied it at one point. We actually left the game a little bit early to go set up this podcast. So, I mean, hey. If they can just lock in, they made a lot of errors though, actually on the defense side of things, but they got to lock in. They got until Saturday. We'll be watching them live here on YouTube. I mean, I think they got a chance.
I think I like Japan to win the whole thing.
Of course.
And I think I like if I was to bet, I think I'm going to bet on Japan. I know that USA is the favorites, but looking more into it,
because they're in the right bracket.
They're in the right bracket, and I mean another thing to think about though is like Skeens is going to pitch 4 innings against Great Britain. Or Scooble's going to do that. Skeens is going to do effectively the same against some other team. Like their rotation that is potentially the greatest rotation that's been ever assembled isn't actually all that, because when it really matters in the big games, they will have already hit their pitch limits.
Right.
So whereas Japan, they've come out and said, and you just know that these Japanese players, like they are approaching this differently. They've come out and said like they're hungry to reclaim their title, hold the belt.
They kick ass at the World Baseball Classic. I was seeing today they've won a lot in the last few tourneys.
I think the motivation from that team to the American team is a different animal. And I think that alone, by sheer willpower alone, the Japanese players are going to win again.
Like when Tarek Skubal says, "I'm only going to pitch once," that doesn't tell me he wants to win.
Yeah, that might not even be his call, right? Like that could be so many different factors
could be his
coming
agent's
into it.
Fucking call. Stay healthy for your big payday year. Could be, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I personally, I'm still leaning with the United States. And if I were the United States, I know that you only have like one start with Skubal. Why aren't you saving it for like the best and most important?
I know that doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Like, why wouldn't you save it for the final game? Like, you can easily get to the finals.
I'm sure that Logan Webb can handle Great
Joe
Britain.
Ryan. Yeah, I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, Nolan McLean can handle those guys.
Yeah,
but
like you can destroy us today. I mean, look at Kevin Gausman. He's still a good pitcher, and I think those guys might arguably a little bit better than him, and he handled them no problem. But imagine that over 5 or 6 frames, it'd be no problem. So yeah, I don't know why. Did they really say he's pitching against Great Britain?
That's what Keegan said to me today when I was talking. Yeah, I was talking to him. I was like, "Hey, man, like, what do you think about the World Baseball Classic?" And he was like, "Man, like, I really hope Japan or Dominican Republic win. Like, USA's kind of boring, and like a lot of their guys are only doing that. Like, it's like ski." And he literally said, "Skubal 4 innings against Great Britain is what they're talking about." And I'm like,
dude, obviously, if you're American, you're just gonna watch it, but like, that's gonna be boring,
dude. Great Britain,
Jazz.
Jazz better go
that was
4
a big addition.
for 4 with 4 bombs.
Still not winning though.
Yeah,
like still, who's pitching for Great Britain?
Couldn't tell you.
I could not tell you. But if Canada, I was saying this to one of our guys here today that covers the Venezuelan players. We were talking about Canada's team, and he thinks this too, that like they can make it out of the bracket for the first time, or out of the pool at least for the first time. All you have to do is be top 2 of 5. And this is the weakest pool that Canada's in. I think they can do it. They just have to go and just not fumble around the base paths and commit a lot of errors.
Yeah. Folks, shout out once again to Sports Interaction, Canada's homegrown sports book. Just legal gambling age, all the
got to be 19 plus to gamble in Ontario only, not like where we are here in Dunedin, Florida.
Yes. And please gamble responsibly.
And please bet responsibly. Go to the description down below to download the app, everyone.
I think that's where we're going to call it for this evening, folks. If you enjoyed this live stream, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button. Like we said, we're going to be live tomorrow evening for that special event. It's us, it's Ben Nicholson-Smith, it's Keegan Matheson, it's Scott Belford, it's Ben Schulman, it's Davis Schneider, it's Riley Trotta, it's other individuals hanging around and having a kick-ass time. It is going to be a party atmosphere because the brews are going to be flowing, everybody. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m., you definitely want to tune into that. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And as always,
go Jays, go! Can't hear the music, but I'm just
picture it.
I'm just picturing the music.